Welcome. My name is Colette Broomhead and I am, of course, owner of this page, and I am a startup strategist, and I help people who want to create an online business so that they can quit their 9 to 5 for good. And today I wanted to come and chat to you about this new kind of concept that it's not new, but this is a concept that I've come up with called free, which feels like a really kind of simple way to understand the steps that you need to go through in order to have a successful online business. Because sometimes it can seem really complicated and it can seem really overwhelming. And I just feel like anything that we can do to try and simplify things and make them seem a little bit less overwhelming, a little bit less scary, can only be a good thing. So I hope anyone out there who's watching this and who is currently going through that overwhelming process and feeling a bit kind of lost and I can't stop saying overwhelmed, but I can't think of a better word, overwhelmed about setting up their business. I hope that this will help make things seem a bit more manageable. Hey Wendy, nice to see you here. Yes, it feels like it's been ages since I've gone live. I can't remember how long. I think it's been a couple of weeks actually, but back into it now. The boys are back at school. I'm starting to get back into a routine now, so hopefully I should be live much more often now. So lovely to see a couple of you here live. Do say hi and let me know who you are, and if you're watching this in the replay, feel free to say hello as well, because it's always lovely to know who's been watching. I always forget to say this, so before I forget again, if you would like reminders to let you know via Facebook Messenger when I'm going to go live so you don't miss them, just type reminder into the comments and that will subscribe you to my messenger, and I will, when I remember, apologies to anyone who's already subscribed and who only got the reminder 5 minutes ago, but what you should do is get a reminder the day before and then about half an hour before I go live, just so you know and you don't miss it if it's something that you're interested in watching. So with that, let me tell you about how to be free. And so free, this is basically this this concept that I've come up with, because I've been trying to think of ways of kind of like I say, simplify the concepts around growing a business, because like I say, it can be so easy to feel like you're drowning in information. There's so much to do, you don't know where to start, you don't know which direction you should be going in, you don't know what you should be prioritizing, and yeah, it's easy to feel completely out of your depth, like you're drowning in information overload, and you're not going to get anywhere. So the idea of free is to break down the journey that you're going on into these kind of 4 stages. And the reason I've called it free, in case it hasn't been clear, is because those stages are spell out the word free. Hello to those of you watching live, lovely to see you. So the first of those stages is foundations. So this is an area that so many people, I think including myself, want to skip past because it's not very sexy, it's not very exciting. People want to start a business and then jump straight to the kind of exciting sales part, making loads of money, having loads of followers. But unfortunately, it's not possible unless you go through the foundations and you build those strong foundations that you can then grow from. So what do I mean by foundations? So first of all, being really clear on what your business is going to be, what your business idea is, what your business purpose is, what it is you're there to do. So I've talked about this a lot of times, but there are 3 key questions that you need to ask yourself when you're just getting started with a new business. The first is, who am I here to serve? Who are my ideal clients? And to avoid that temptation to try and please everyone, but to in fact try and get as specific as possible. That is important more than ever when you are just starting out, because that is where you get your hook. That is how you stand out when you have no visibility yet, when you have no brand awareness yet, or any of that good stuff. You need to have a specific niche and a specific area where you can kind of create that strong hook to attract people to you. So who are you there to serve? What are you there to help them with? So what is their purpose? What problems are you solving? What is it you're there to do? And why? So what is the outcome that you're going to bring about for these people? What is the change that's going to happen for them? And if you can answer those three questions as clearly as possible, that is a really good, strong foundation to have. Other foundations, things like setting up your platform, so creating a website, your online home, the place where people can come and find you online. They can check that you're credible. They can find out more about who you are, and in fact, when it comes to it, they can buy from you online as well. So starting to create a social media presence, so creating your social media pages and accounts, and getting those kind of things in place. Planning, setting goals, creating your business plan, doing all your kind of due diligence type stuff, looking at the your legal requirements, depending on what country in. Is there any specific insurance that you need to get? Do you need to register with the HMRC over here in the UK, and whatever the equivalent is elsewhere? And kind of doing all that due diligence, which feels like hard work, and it doesn't feel fun, and it doesn't feel exciting. And when you're just starting out in a business, when you are feeling full of excitement and full of passion and you can't wait to get going, it can feel very much like you're kind of wading through sand and you want to skip that part and get straight to the fun stuff. But that stuff is key. In order for you to grow and in order for you to move forward, you need to get that stuff done. So make sure, first stage of any online business, focus on those foundations, get those strong foundations in place, and then you are in a brilliant position to grow from there. So that is the F of my free. R is for reach. And by reach, what I'm talking about is basically building your online presence, building your visibility, letting people know that you and your business exist. Because of course, when you first start out, it's only you and maybe your family and friends. And in order for a successful business, obviously, you need to have more people than that. And so then begins the hard work of putting yourself out there, of putting your business out there, and of finding that ideal clients that you identified in the foundation stage, and finding as many of them as possible and helping them to find you. So the types of activities that you will do in this stage where you're extending your reach are blogging and all things content marketing, in fact. And so basically this is where you're providing free value to attract people, to show them that you know what you're talking about, to show them that you know what you're doing, to show them that you're an expert in your area, that they can trust you, to express your brand, so that you can attract your ideal clients, you can stand out from your competitors, and you can really start to grow that online presence. So another really important stage, and again, sometimes it can feel like hard work. It can feel like, it takes too long, because unfortunately it isn't necessarily or often a speedy process. It takes time to build real presence, to build real brand visibility. And the temptation at this stage is to just focus on the numbers rather than focusing on the quality of the audience that you're attracting, because that is so key. And so I see so often online, and I'm sure you do the same, if you go into the Facebook groups and all of that, you see these kind of like for like, and I'll follow you if you follow me, and all of that kind of stuff. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, that is not going to help you. Yes, it makes your numbers look nicer, and it gives you that little burst of excitement because you've got more followers. But how likely are those people to ever really engage with your business? How likely are they to ever part with their cash for something that you're selling? Because if they're not, their like is meaningless, their follow is meaningless. You are looking for your ideal clients, and those are the people you want to attract. Those are the likes that count. Those are the views that count. Those are the follows that count. It's the people who are actually likely to, really have an interest in your business, an interest in buying from you, an interest in kind of having a relationship with you and your business. So don't be lured in to just going after numbers, regardless of who those numbers are. Focus on quality, focus on the quality of the people, attract the people that matter, and focus on serving those people, because that's what's going to attract them. So forget the like for like, the follow for follow. You are wasting your time, and you could be better spent putting your time into creating this valuable content and to building valuable relationships with the people that really count for your business. So that is reach. E is engagement. So once you've got yourself out there and you're starting to build a bit of a buzz, people are becoming aware of who you are, they're starting to recognize your brand, and all of that kind of good stuff. So you're extending your reach. The next step is to start to build engagement, to start to develop that sense of community, develop that sense of trust. So basically, you've got people's attention. Now you need to keep it. Now you need to keep them coming back for more. So there are so many ways you can do this. Things like Facebook groups, whether you start your own Facebook group, whether you kind of are very active in someone else's Facebook group. Within your own website, on your blog, you can create a sense of community within the comment section. There are tons of ways you can do this. On your Facebook page, you can do this. Building, by just basically showing up, and encouraging people to have a two-way conversation with you. So not falling into the trap of just talking at people and spouting endless kind of tips and tricks, but actually asking for that two-way conversation. And kind of engaging people in conversations, and just starting to get them talking with each other as well, and starting to just get that sense of community, that sense of belonging, and that sense of engagement. And that is how relationships build, and that's how you start to build trust. So I've talked about it before, but if you think about the customer life cycle, so if you don't know what this is, basically that's the journey that anyone goes through when they buy something. So you will start off not knowing about the company at all. And so you then, first of all, need to find out about the company. You need to know them. Okay. And then you need to like them. So as a business owner, your job is to, first of all, think about reach and extending your reach and getting more people to know who you are. But then your job is to get those people to actually like you, to get them to be interested, to get them to want to come back for more. And then the third stage is trust. And so getting them to actually not just like you, but trust you enough to part with their hard-earned cash for whatever it is you're selling. And only if they go through that journey are they going to buy from you. And so this is why this kind of engagement stage is so important as well. It's just kind of developing that relationship. And so the types of things that you'll be doing at this stage are things like Facebook groups, your email marketing as well, encouraging people to part with their email address. Pardon me. It may seem very little, but just that gesture of trusting you enough to give you their email address is a great first step. And actually, this kind of trust goes in increments. And that's why you'll see people, if you've heard of sales funnels and things like that, it tends to work in stages. So you ask for the smallest commitment, your email address, and then you might ask for a slightly bigger commitment. So perhaps a small offer of some sort that just costs a few pounds or a few dollars. And then people who have gone through those stages and have trusted you enough to do those little things are much, much, much more likely to trust you again with the kind of high value, high ticket stuff that you might be selling. And so if you can take people through those steps, rather than going straight in with your high offer, you're much more likely to get those sales. And it's all about building relationship, building trust. And so that is a really key stage as well. So we've got foundations, we've got reach, we've got engagement. And then the last of my E, and I couldn't miss this out, is earnings. And it sounds obvious, and I've said this before too. I repeat myself an awful lot, it seems, but don't forget to sell, because it's so easy to do. You can get so caught up in, getting your website set up, working out who your ideal clients are, building the perfect product, building the perfect website, writing great blog posts, being on social media all day and helpful in Facebook groups, that actually you don't spend any time focused on stuff that's going to create you revenue directly. All of that stuff's going to help you create revenue indirectly, of course, but you need to actually focus on stuff that is going to get you sales, whatever that looks like in your own business. For example, as a coach, you need to be looking for people to have discovery calls with. If you're selling online courses, you actually need to, create those products and services. You need to get them out there. You need to tell people about them. You need to basically do anything, depending on what it is you're selling, that's going to help you get sales directly, whether it be sales calls, whether it be sales emails, whether it be face-to-face, depending on your business. However that looks like for your business, make sure that you are spending time on that as well. And those sales and those earnings will come once you've been through that journey. So you start off with your foundations, you build those strong foundations, then you focus on visibility and increasing your visibility, extending your reach. Then you focus on building that sense of community and kind of deepening your relationship with people through building engagement, getting people to interact with you, and then that's when you will start to see the earnings, as long as you're focusing on those activities that are going to get you sales. So I hope that's helpful. This is something I'm going to be talking about a fair bit over the coming weeks and months, and I will be kind of basing a lot of my content around this kind of concept and where different elements of what I'm talking about fit into each of those stages, because I think and let me know what you think. I'd be really interested to know actually whether that is helpful for you, whether kind of breaking it into these kind of stages makes into kind of almost sort of not bite-sized pieces, but more manageable stages where you can kind of see the progression and you can kind of see the journey, so it doesn't feel quite so overwhelming. That's the purpose. So let me know if that does help with that or not. It feels like it does, but yeah, I would love your feedback, so do let me know. So yeah, I wanted to come on and just tell you all about it, and like I say, I will be talking about it more over the coming weeks and months in my blog posts and so on. So free, that is how you can be free. Foundations, reach, engagement, and earnings. So let me know what you think. I'd love to know. And don't forget, if you do want to subscribe for reminders for when I go live, just pop reminder in the comments. And lastly, if you would like to know roughly what stage you're at, I have actually previously created a quiz. It's just 6 questions, and you answer the questions, and you will then find out at which of 3 different stages you're at in terms of how close you are to being able to quit your 9-to-5. Now, this was before I had come up with my free concept, but it's very similar. It's a very similar concept. So basically the 3 stages in this quiz are just getting started, which would kind of equate to the foundations stage. Then the juggle is real. So that's really your kind of reach and engagement stage. And then the final push, which is basically you're nearly ready to be able to quit your 9-to-5. You either aren't quite earning enough yet from your business, or you are earning enough, but you're not quite ready mindset wise to kind of take that final leap. And that's the final push. So those are the 3 stages. If you'd be interested to know which stage you're at, and based on that stage, which things you should be prioritizing right now, I'll pop a link to the quiz in the comments below. And it's completely free, so feel free to check that out as well. And Wendy, really great information as always. I now love the word free. I thought it was apt. I thought, I don't know about you, but one of the main drivers for me setting up my own business was that want for freedom, freedom of time, freedom of location, being able to work, when I want, where I want. freedom of money, you know, not being restricted either by a corporate salary and by, you know, what management says my job was worth or my work was worth, but actually being able to kind of dictate that and knowing that what I'm earning is entirely down to me. And, you know, the sky is the limit, really. So having that freedom is what it's all about for me. So using the word free just seemed really apt. So yes, Wendy, I'm so glad you found it helpful. Anyone else watching, I hope you found it helpful as well. Do say hi in the comments, and I shall see you soon. Mwah! Bye.